The Disrupt Education vlog can be found on YouTube. To hear it in podcast form, search Disrupt Education on any of the following podcast platforms: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Spotify, or Stitcher. Welcome to this episode of Disrupt Education. I have a very special guest with me today, Breshawn Wilkerson. Thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do these days?
Well, my name is Bri-Shan, obviously, and I call myself a youth advocate. One of my goals and one of my passions is to really deconstruct how we feel and how we think about the youth in Chicago. When you go out of town, one of the things that they call us, because I went to school in Michigan, one of the things that they call us is Chirac. And it really hurts my heart, and it really just bothers me because we have so much more potential than that. We have so many more go-getters than that. We have a brighter future than just Chirac. It's not all about the violence. It's not all about the killing and what's going on. I believe that our youth have a very bright future.
Mm-hmm. I hear that a lot too with people like, you're in Chicago, it's a war zone, and it's really not like right. That's media. Is that how you feel it is? And how do you respond to people with, like, when you went to school in Michigan? How do you respond when somebody say, "Hey man, you live in Chirac," you know?
It was so funny because one person asked me, he was like, "Do you know Chief Keef?" And I'm like, no, bro. Like, I was so confused because like, why would you think I know Chief Keef? Like, I don't know Chief Keef. And I know he is synonymous with, like you stated in the media, they portray a lot of gun violence. And so the fact that he kind of like made me synonymous with that, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. And so my response is usually just no, like I believe that I'm smarter than that. I believe that I have more passion and more ambition than what the narrative says.
Right. So you went to, let's go back then into your schooling. So what was your path of education, and still is, because we're all lifelong learners, but tell us your path so far in education.
So I went to Oak Park River Forest High School. That's where I graduated. And then I got a football scholarship at Davenport University. It's a Division II in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But the funny story is I came back a semester after because some paperwork got fumbled, my FAFSA got fumbled, and so I get an email second week into second semester like, hey, you owe this much amount of money, or we're taking your meal plan, we're taking your housing and all that. And so that's what happened. So I came back after a semester, and so my educational journey from then has been an education more about myself. Breshawn, who are you? What do you like to do? What are your goals? What are your passions? What's your integrity like? What are your morals like? And that's when I really found Christ, because I found my identity within God, and everything. I'm just still learning, like you said. Every day is a new journey. I love learning. I've been reading more. I've been studying more, as far as not only the Bible, but also things such as business and entrepreneurship. And so I'm just trying to learn as much as I can, soak in as much as I can. I believe that the biggest life teacher is experience. And so that's one thing that has really, really taught me.
Let's dig into that then a little bit. So, there was a moment of clarity, and in your religion and everything that you're moving forward with. Is there something in a school system that might have hindered that, or been something that you would change going back, not just with yourself, but a system that would help more people? Is there a change in education that you would love to implement or see that needs to be implemented?
This is a great question, because this is one of the things that I thought of as soon as I got out of high school, because I believe that the educational system is not great. I believe that it's kind of like robotic type of system. This is what it is, and if you don't meet these requirements, if you don't meet these standards, then you're remedial or you're less than. And I believe that is a terrible way to go about school. And I believe that the educational system needs to be reformed more than anything. Because what about the creatives? What do we say to them? What about the people who have different passions? What do we say to them? I believe that high school really glorifies the quote unquote nerds, the really smart people, and then the athletes. What about the in-between? What if I'm not as smart? What if I don't memorize my what I study quickly? What if I'm not an athlete? What if I play the clarinet? Then what do you say? What if I like to draw? Then what do you say? And so I believe that our school system needs to be reformed to a more positive push on those people who don't fit in the box, more of an outside the box approach, more, because I like to use this example a lot. You always know about those quote unquote class clowns that always get in trouble.
Right.
It's always just goofing around, but they're just naturally funny.
Right.
So they don't have a real outlet to get that funny out of them. And so when they're around a crowd, this is the only time I get to be funny. When there's 30 kids in one class, I'm about to make everybody laugh. And so my goal and my one of my dreams is to take that passion, take that natural gift, take that natural talent and turn it into something positive. Let's get you some acting classes. Let's get you into some comedy writing classes. Like, let's really expand on what God already gave you.
That sounds like the school motto would be, let's find out what the passions are, what are you interested in, and it doesn't have to be the rest of your life, but at that moment, and then let's build on it. Is that something like, I'll call it the Breshawn Wilkerson School?
Right. Yeah, let's build on that, because now don't get me wrong, I do believe you need your math skills, you need your science skills, you need your writing or your reading skills, but all the in-between stuff, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's very beneficial. I think it's beneficial for the people who need that system. And so I don't want to leave out the people who don't necessarily need that system, because my thing is, I don't think you necessarily need college to be successful. I don't think test scores and grades define who you are. I believe that we need to teach more classes geared towards life skills, fatherhood classes, motherhood classes. What do you do about taxes? What happens when you get rich? Like, I was thinking, if I made $100 million, what would my taxes look like? I don't even know that. And so I think we need to do more things geared towards those life skills. How to fix a tire, right? Where to go get your oil changed at, your engine checked at, things like that.
And you're kind of doing that through your activism right now and trying to bring communities together. What is your next move on being an activist and trying to bring some communities, specifically in the West Side here in Oak Park?
So one of my goals, because I simultaneously really grew up on the West Side of Chicago and in Oak Park, and so I believe that God placed me in Oak Park for a reason. I believe that I was over here to bring those resources and those connections back to the West Side. The West Side has great connections, but I don't think it's a good reason. I can't find a good reason why when you walk down the street on the West Side of Chicago in the Austin neighborhood, and then you walk down Lake Street or Oak Park Avenue, it looks like two completely different worlds, two completely different atmospheres, and we're 2 miles away from each other. That blows my mind. And so one of my goals is to connect Oak Park and the West Side at a deeper level. Bring those resources, connect the people, connect the children, because I believe that the kids on the West Side deserve the same schooling as the kids in Oak Park. And so I think, especially when we get familiar with each other, once we grow together, then it'll create more of a world changing atmosphere, a togetherness, unity. And so that's one of my goals.
How do people find you? Online, on the internet, social media?
My Facebook, that's funny because I just deactivated my Twitter because y'all be so bougie on Twitter. Like, no Twitter. Y'all be so bougie on Twitter, it don't make no sense. But Facebook is my name, Bri-Shan Wilkerson. That's BRESHAWN WILKERSON. You can contact me, you can DM me. I talk to anybody. I'm no respecter of person. I talk to anybody, I vibe with anybody. You can DM me, you can add me, you can do what you want. We can have a conversation about changing the world. If it's not about changing the world, then I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I love it, man. Your ideals on education is a true disruptor in a good way in bringing reality and academia together and doing that in communities, and I really respect that, man. And I look for great things with this guy. He's starting up things right now, but by the time this thing's out, you never know. Things are going to roll. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it. You bet. Guys, until next time, we'll see you on Disrupt Education.